Okay, so we'll take a look at some of the amazing games of Mikhail Tal, where he beats Bobby Fischer 4 times in the same tournament. So I just pull up, Google Tal chess games Mikhail Tal, great resource as we talked about, and have his openings, and we have 10 picked games, selected games by the staff there. And yeah, we have 2 world championship matches where he defeats Botvinnik, loses to Botvinnik, and then in the candidates, 1959. I guess it was played in all 3 cities. Okay, so we have him winning 20 out of 28, and then Fischer when he's 16, but still amazing player. So it's still amazing to beat him 4 times. He has 12.5 out of 28. Then Karras comes in. Karras came just a 1.5 behind him. Okay, so let's take a look at these games. His games, and then it will show you all those 25 games. So yeah, I mean, he lost against Tal in the first round, actually beats Gligoric, loses to Karras, who came in second. Then he beats Olafsson. So he actually had 2 out of 4 in the start. So it wasn't like an amazing start. And then I guess from there, he's just winning, right? Just win. He loses to Karras twice, actually. So he lost to some of the top players, but just beat everybody else. That's kind of what happened. Yeah, but beating Fischer 4 times, so I think that's just interesting to see those games. But yeah, most of the others. Then he finally beats Karras right here. He beats Karras in 17. So yeah, and then he just finished. He loses to Karras again. I think it's 3 out of 4. Wow, so that's interesting. I mean, hey, if you want to see the other side of it, see how does Tal lose? You'll get some amazing play by Karras. But we'll take a look at how he beats Fischer, because anytime you beat Fischer, you must be playing amazing chess. Okay, so where's the first one against Fischer? Right here, yeah. Tal versus Fischer. Okay, let's make a square around it. Okay. Let me see if I can move it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so he's playing white. Fishing in the tall grass. They always have their puns. Okay, so this was 1959. And of course, Fischer loved King's Indian, right? You'll see him play King's Indian and Grunfeld throughout his career. So he started playing it early. His game of the century when he's like 13, that was Grunfeld, actually. So now he's choosing to, yeah. No, actually, he can still, no, at this moment, no, D5 would be Grunfeld, right? So he's pretty much opting into a King's Indian when he doesn't play D5 after E4. Okay, you have to play, you lose your chance to play D5, so you play King's Indian. Bishop E2, castles, knight F3. So pretty much classical, right? Bishop E2, I guess the difference, you don't get pinned right away with knight F3. You can play often knight can reroute to D2. E5, D5. Okay, so he's just choosing to close it right away. Which is interesting because usually you would think of this as black being the attacking player, right? Black going for F5 and so forth, knight to F4 and all that. But it turns out that you can attack on the queen side too. You can still be an attacking player and attack on the queen side. So that's important to see. Bishop G5, H6, Bishop H4. And so it's kind of provocative, right? H6 is a little loosening, but he could just get his bishop out. If you go to E3, he's going to be bothered by the knight with knight G4. So it's just active development and kind of see what Fischer does. See if he's going to go. Well, the thing is, even though, again, black usually wants to attack on the king side, but still, that's theoretically a weakening move to play G5. And you don't have, the thing is, white can castle queen side. They can just move their king on B1. So if black moves too much, he's waiting for him to commit, right? If you move too much, you get in trouble. So just kind of walk through all 4 of them. We can go through a bit quickly and focus on key moments so we can cover all 4. Okay, knight H7, interesting. Well, of course, what do you think he wants to do with knight H7? What's his next idea? For Fischer, that is. If you were playing for black, what would you try to do on the next move or very soon? Daniel, you're muted, Daniel.
I think I'd love to explore the king side.
Yeah. Well, you can reroute the knight to G5, and what's the most direct attack on the king side?
Let's say F5.
Yeah, typical. Your thematic F5 break. If he takes, you usually take back with the pawn and just get your pawns rolling. But again, It's interesting because white is, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, he's gonna go for f5. Maybe knight g5 later, or he can simply come back, and you like to have a knight on f4 many times, but usually you put f5, push to f4, you know, run your g pawn. Okay, well, the knight's coming into g5, so he's not committing his pawns yet. And then Tal's just like, I'm just gonna go for c5, you know? Your pawns are aiming at the queen side for white. Black's aiming at the king side, right? So white's going for his c5 break. There's your f5 break. Nice and tight. The Karpov tight bishop, bishop f2. Okay, he's not committing to anything. Queen e7. Now you know c5 is coming. Yeah, and of course the queen is looking at c5, of course, too. So you probably don't want to play c5 yet because he has knight, queen, and pawn. So it's harder to make the break yet right now. But now he's, you know, eyeing it. So Fischer's kind of like, okay, fine, just do it. And I'm gonna do my thing. But you can see it's a nice space advantage for Tal here. But this is typical, you know, it's typical in the King's Inn. Although, I don't know, it feels like white is striking first a bit, you know, white's creating some initiative. Black is putting pressure on e4 though. I mean, you know, black has pressure on e4, white has pressure on d6. So nobody, you know, it's not critical yet. We'll see who really makes the opponent react first. Queen c2, c file pressure, f5 a little bit, knight h5. Okay, there's that knight f4 idea. And you kind of want them to go g3 because it weakens f3 and you can strike with pawn, you know, with f4 anytime you want. That could get dangerous. So there's your breakthrough. So he's really, you know, he's getting it. There you go. He's getting some real initiative. I mean, maybe he can play pawn c6 potentially.
Yeah, I thought a4 before.
You thought what?
I thought a4 before b5 without.
Right. It's kind of like where black often wants to go. You know, if black is going g5, g4, often black will go, you know, f5, f5, f4, g5, h5, g4. So kind of supporting it more. But I think Daniel, I think it's really that he just wants to get the initiative going as quickly as possible. He wants Fischer to react to him.
A4, not h4.
Right. I mean, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of just going now, because if he does this, it's a little slower. And black is brewing up something. So he knows that Fischer is starting some stuff. So he has to be sort of drastic, even though sure b5 is not as clean. But then again, I don't think you really mind if he takes, because then your knight, let's see, the knight can come in, maybe you get the bishop pair. This bishop can become a strong attacker sometimes, right? Oh, what were you saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So he doesn't take it, he takes the e pawn. Now it's very important it's strong to take with the knight. You know, usually you want to, he ultimately takes with the pawn, he trades it up, but you can often keep a knight on e4. In this case, he just trades off one of Fischer's attackers. And ultimately, I think he's taking, you know, we're just exploring the games, but I think he's taking with the pawn now rather than the knight. Well, one, he's guarding the b pawn, and two, yeah, you're keeping an eye on the two. I don't know if he even wants to take the knight on h5, but he's certainly keeping the bishop and the knight covering e5, because if you take, but generally speaking, this is a good square for the knight. So that's why black has to be careful about giving up, you know, trading off the f pawn, because you don't really want white to plant a knight on e4, generally speaking. But I think he was probably concerned about ideas like just taking the pawn, a takes b5 or bishop takes. There's really nothing there after that for white, and knight f4 is annoying too. Just keeping an eye on the knight on h5, guarding the b5 pawn. He is securing the d5 pawn too, and also he can. But you see, this largely deals with black's attack. The bishop isn't doing anything on g7. Often it doesn't. It might do something later. It solidifies the position. But the rook will probably get traded off. The rooks might get traded off. And there's still c-file pressure. So it seems like he's pretty much neutralized Fischer's pressure. I mean, Fischer will probably get knight f4 in. Yeah, he does it right now. c6. And there's your, you know, b5 idea, right? b5 to c6 and getting a real initiative on the queen side. We're going to open up something over there. Okay, he ignores him. Obviously, he wants to mate. Keeps it tight. You have to watch out for, of course, the knight check, right? But there's no mate or anything. You just move your king. Can trade, that's fine. Trade off his attackers. That's fine. That's interesting. He takes away from the center, but he's shoving his pawns down the queen side. Maybe you can make a pass pawn, right? But as you said, Daniel, yeah, sure, you wouldn't mind having the a pawn in there too. You also have diagonal to his king for what it's worth. He'll obviously play like king h8 or king h7 without too much of a problem. Okay, he trades it off. Here's your mate threat again. Just keep it simple. So no big deal, right? It's really tight. You know, it's nice. So you see, it's important to see, like, if you look at 4 games, you'll see it's not just one, as we talked about earlier, it's not just like one famous game where he's attacking, but you see him where he has to defend a little bit too. Like, that's a normal game, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm a great attacker, I'm just going to attack you all game long. It's not going to happen every game, right? But after, you know, you deal with this knight, you're dealing with a kingside attack. But he's neutralized him. Knight check, you just move your king. He's covering g2 laterally now. You know, he's fine. Okay, takes b5. So you get rid of the knight. Now, interestingly, he's letting the bishop finally get unleashed, although the bishop doesn't do that much. But you see, okay, how would you guys assess the position at this point? We've traded off a few pieces. So he's quieted down a little bit. He does have f3. You gotta watch out for f3. But overall, how would you assess the position in terms of like what pieces there are, the pawn structure, the danger to the kings, and so forth?
I think white has a stronger position because the pieces seem more coordinated.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, with the exception of the knight, everything seems to be reinforcing each other, and even the knight is not facing any serious challenges, so it doesn't really matter. It has the space to go wherever, even if that were to happen.
Yeah, you have a space advantage too. You can reroute to d5. You're looking at c7. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you get the c7 pawn, you just like reroute to d5. That's a very dangerous c pawn. That's certainly going to give Tal an initiative. There's a bishop that could come in now, but the knight currently stops it from checking on d4. Like I said, you, in terms of, here, let me pull up the annotator thing. Where did it run off to? There it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. You see anything else? Okay, so let's make some arrows on there. So we've got the knight looking at c7, right? You got to watch out for this stuff. And I mean, even if it's not going to queen now, so it's worrisome. You have like check ideas, win the exchange, a lot of ideas there. Yeah, again, the bishop is restrained by the knight, and you happen to have a passed a pawn. He's going to play a4 soon. Embed the knight on b5 for now. The only, like I said, the only thing to worry about is pawn f3, because you can't take it, right? There's a pin. Actually, check this out. No, check this out. If he plays f3, you just go queen b3 check, though. It doesn't even work now. And then you can actually take it, it looks like. Yeah. I mean, you have to be a little careful, you know, like the a2 pawn's hanging, but generally speaking, it's not that big of a deal. And it's not like he threatens mate, but you have to watch out for f3 for sure. It's like, it gets tactical, so just watch out. That's like ideas with bishop check, you know, with the f3, like you have to be careful about bishop check. So you want to keep an eye on that. You have to keep an eye on your a2 pawn. So white has to worry about a couple of things. But again, I mean, coming from the situation that we were at, it's a little more ominous with the knights coming in and everything. So this is a cleaner situation for Tal. You know, you got rid of, I mean, look, you got rid of the mating idea. He's pinning the rook. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's equal material, but I think Tal kind of got what he wanted out of the opening, right? He's well into the middle game. He's restricted Fischer's attacking play. Again, all there is f3 really. Bishop e5 too. You have to be careful, but for the most part, he's definitely way more restricted than before. It's going to take him a while. He's got the, you know, he's got the c7 idea. Now he pins the rook. He still wants to take c7. And he has a pass pawn. So that means the rook is kind of, if the rook starts doing stuff, you're just going to like push the a pawn to a7, guard by the knight. You know, he has a crisis there. So assuming Fischer doesn't really get his kingside attack off the ground, which he hasn't, he's neutralized it largely, then, you know, he's winning on the queen side. And the center, blowing up in the center gives him a nice diagonal. You can't move your king off the pin and to h7, or you'd have to go to f8, which is kind of awkward. Yeah, so it looks good. Let's see how he wins this. Well, now you've blockaded. Now you've blockaded the f pawn. Like I said, it's a concern. You know, I don't want to see f3, do you? It's annoying, right? You got f3, g3, queen h3. You got to defend g2. You know, so he just blocks him. Blockade. There's that bishop. So bishop, of course, he wants to push a lot now, really. get to h2, but he's not going to let him anytime soon. He's covering everything. So you see he's taking a little moment for defense. Well, I mean, he is attacking the f-pawn. I don't think he's going to win the f-pawn yet. He has g3 options too later. That looks a little risky. Maybe if you move your king, you might have g3 and come in, right? I mean, that's actually pretty dangerous, right? But you probably have to get your king off the pin on the g file, g3, and take options there on the rook is very weak on f7. So he gets off the pin. Here comes the a-pawn. Every move he's improving his pieces, you know, solid. And look at the knight versus the bishop. The bishop's pretty bad. Look at the rooks. Our rooks have options. His rooks not so much. Queen's floating around. Our queen has a nice diagonal. So pretty much all of our pieces are better at this point. And e-pawn is guarded. No issue on the e-pawn that's isolated. And then c-pawn is a splinter. And the a-pawn's a pass pawn. So you could see, you put this in the computer, it's like a winning advantage. You add it all up. There's king h1. There's your king h1, g3. Look, he has light squares covered. It looks like cutthroat, right? He can do this though. Now he has 3 attackers versus 3 defenders on f4, but you simply can't, you can't take anytime soon. There's too much pressure on f7. You have to move your rook. Covers the rook. Takes, interesting. So he's actually allowing, look at this though, that's a nice idea. So it's counterintuitive in a way. It's like, oh wait, you're gonna let, this was blockaded and you can't do anything with your rook. So it's like, okay, let's blow it open. But it's counterintuitive. Why are you letting the bishop come open? It's all about something else though. Let's look at it from here. Why do you want the bishop? Visualize it from here. Why do you want the bishop to move away from e5? He's not threatening mate on h2 yet. In a little bit he might, but first we're going to get his attention. What are we able to do now that when his bishop moves to f4? Visualize this.
I think he wants to sack the knight on, let's say, knight captures on e6.
Now what? Very strong follow-up for white.
No, not all.
It's specifically because the bishop's moving away. What was the, so again, you're allowing the bishop to open. You give some to get some, right? You give away, you let him open the diagonal. The bishop's still actually a target though. I mean, he's pinned. Keep that in mind. He is pinned. Can't move, you lose f7. So he's pinned. I mean, if they have time to threaten mate, you can always go like queen back or something, or rook back. So they're not going to mate you. You're covering the light squares to your king. You're fine. Now look at your knight though. Let's just include our knight now, and it's going to get, oh, it's going to become overwhelming. This is a beautiful idea. I really like this idea. So again, it looks scary to play g3, but he knows it can work. He's calculated this. Black is tied up. You'd have to reckon with rook takes when you do this move. If rook takes, well, then he probably just, maybe he ends up trading, and let's see. If rook had taken, yeah, he has to worry about c7 and everything. Yeah, but still, you got to worry. It's very cutthroat again. You have to worry about h2. You can always guard yourself with queen b3 check. Oh, sorry, my bad. That's not available. But yeah, you have to be careful, you know, but still, everything's collapsing. Just don't get mated on h2. But he takes with a bishop. And now what's available to us?
Knight captures on d6.
Captures d6.
Knight captures on d6. That's what I think.
So he can't take with the bishop because of f7. He takes the pawn, you get a passed pawn, right?
Yeah.
I think that's strong. He actually did something very, you know, nothing sacrificial. He just rerouted his knight. You could, okay, let's compare that. Knight takes d6 looks pretty strong. That's certainly a candidate move. Because bishop can't take, he drops f7 with check. 3 attackers, 2 defenders. If the pawn takes, you push. He might have like queen g4. Well, I mean, I guess he can play, might even have rooks. Yeah, probably queen g4 to cover, maybe that covers c8 effectively. I don't know, but it's still strong. What's another move for your knight, though? You guys think about this. A very strong knight move.
Okay. Let's maneuver the knight there.
Maneuver to, I know where you're thinking, right?
To
Very strong. To where?
c3.
To e6?
c3.
Well, it's a little, you can do it, but look at this. Look at e6. That's killer, right? If you get in there, that's done. See? If you get to E6, he's done. Right? That's all he needs. So that's the idea. Make the bishop go to F4 so you can reroute the knight, see? Game over.
Okay.
That's so
Yeah.
strong. And the cool thing is that even if he threatens this, you still have, you could always take the bishop if you need to. Let's see what happened. He plays queen O, he plays knight to D4. That's what happened. But he keeps it clean, right? He doesn't even check first. He liquidates first. He can liquidate here. Yeah, that's a nice fork. Check. Queen up. He's about to, I mean, you can almost resign now. It's a nice little combo because when you check, first you take advantage of the mating idea. Now, what you'd have to look at what would happen if the F4 rook blocks. But now you just know you're gonna take this one. And then you're just up a piece. Oh man. Well, this is currently hanging the knight. So when you push, you simultaneously strike at the rook and guard F4 through the clearance on the fourth rank. Nice move. Check. He just mops up. Okay, why did he resign? What if the king goes to let's say H8? I mean that rook is coming in soon and the knight. What do you think? King H8.
Take rook to.
You got to break through forcefully. Be as forceful as you can here. Forcing moves.
First move, I think. If rook, okay. Queen D8.
Yeah.
Queen E8 now.
D8. D no. D8.
D8.
Here's
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's say king here.
We have. Yeah, we have knight check.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah. Sacrificing the knight.
I think he has to. Well, he has this move. A little messy, but maybe you check here or something. Yeah. You check here now, and then you mate him on G7 because he has to go to G8. I think you have another move too. Like if he goes here, you do the check first.
Yeah, you have.
But
Okay.
what if he goes? What if he goes here? You have a very nice clean move, just clean win right now. Tactic. What do you guys see when you look at your forcing lines?
I think I still have knight to move.
You want to get your rook in. You want to mobilize your rook, because you're looking at knight move, queen move. Yes, they're nice together, but let's use our rook. How do you include your rook immediately?
Knight captures on G. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys see that? You guys see why? You fork them. You guys see it? So you're forking them, they have to take with the rook. Well, if they don't want to lose the queen. They take with the rook, then what?
Rook F8.
There you go. It's a mate, ladder mate. Oh, wait. My bad. I'm sorry.
Not mate.
No, I'm sorry. It's not mate. I'm sorry. It's not mate yet.
Not,
Hold on.
yeah.
Wait, okay. Knight takes, rook takes. There's got to be. Okay, wait. No, maybe. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, it doesn't mate yet. So maybe. Yeah, well, I just feel like it's gonna. No, maybe you're right then. Maybe the other line's better then, because I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, you clear the rook, of course. Well, yeah, because you have to mate because they have some checks. Okay, so let's go back to your line. So you're saying queen d8 pin. I think that's interesting. It pins the rook. Okay, and then if the king goes back, we get closer. Yeah. Oh, you're saying knight check now? It's either knight check or queen check. You said knight check, right? Yeah. And then you have the G7 target again, right? Because again, if he goes here, what was the line there? Queen check. Yeah, that works, Daniel. Yep. he has to go to G8. You're covering F8 with a knight, and then you mate him on G7. Yep, that's cleaner then, huh? I was like, oh, at first I'm like, oh yeah, you win the queen. No, never mind, because he has one escape. Okay, so King H8, knight takes G. Sorry, I mean, not. I want to do that. Queen D8, King G. Now, assuming here, then you have the knight check. What if he goes to back here? Do you just check? Oh, we lost him for a minute. He probably lost connection. Do you just check him here? Because now, if he goes to H8, now we definitely take as the pin. He goes to G8. See, it's a little messy still. All right.
Yeah.
Check, he goes back again. How about, okay, hold on. So wait, so here. Now, if he goes let's just look at this. If, by the way, if he goes here, it sort of might transpose, right? No, there's a cool line where you check him, and then you can sack your queen for the rook. You see that? Because then you can use your knight on the next move. You see? So if you check him, and the rook goes back, queen sack on F8, knight takes G6, win the queen. See that? Double check. Then you're up a rook and a knight. Yeah, the only tricky line is if he goes to H8, because knight. Well, let's double check this. So you check, the rook takes. It feels like there must be something there, but there is rook G8, and it's like yeah, maybe it's not quite enough because it has to work right away. You also, okay, let's see. So King H8. Yeah, I think it's Daniel's move, yeah. Unless it's Queen E8. That's the only other possibility. But check, it transposes if you go here. And then he said knight check, yeah. Yeah, that should do it. But the only tricky line is king back to H7. So you check on E7. He goes back again. He goes back to H8. Yeah, but no, then you have knight takes G6 because the pin. Yeah, that's why. Because you have the fork, and the rook can't take, they lose the queen. Yeah. So then it's possible. Yeah. So Daniel, let's see if he comes back in. I think he lost his connection. But yeah. So he resigned, yeah. He resigned right now because of that. So I really like that E5 move to finish. So no, it's a brilliant game. It's a really nice example of beating the King's Indian, yeah. Very clean. So you get a queen, but like Daniel was talking about, this B5, yeah, you have to be quick, you have to get his attention. You have to fight for the initiative. Otherwise you'll get mated or big trouble on the king side. So you got in some trouble, but the thing is he just liquidated pieces, that's it. He simply traded off pieces. He broke through on the queen side, and then he found some nice finish. I like G3 too, yeah. The King H1 G3 concept, it really exploited. So it's like it's interesting that he's like, okay, good, I held him off on the king side. Yes, he has the queen side advantage, but he actually turns his attention to the king side to attack. And he's able to, he still has the queen side advantages. It's always there. And if nothing else, he liquidates everything and wins with his passed A pawn or taking C7, right? So he kind of has it both ways. But then he gets into this beautiful, I think he probably should have taken with the rook. I'm sure there was a refutation of that as well. I probably should have taken with the rook on F4, but then you just get your knight in, and that's decisive. Nice game. Okay, you guys have any questions about the first one? Okay, so we have so going back to the list, we just pull it up. So we could just do this, control find. There we go. So that's our first one. We have 1, and then, okay, that was 1-0. And then he wins with black, and then he wins with white, and wait, 1, 2, 3. Wait, are we only seeing 3? 1. Okay, so round 7. Round 10.
There's another page.
There's 3 more games. Okay. So then he wins with white, and then he wins with black. It's interesting, actually, you see the black games, it says Fischer sows in variation. So this is Fischer doing his, doing his thing, and it didn't work at this. But of course he refined it, but it's interesting that he's stuck with these openings. Okay, so the second one, round 13. Okay, well, this is a Najdorf. So we see how to win with a Najdorf with black, which Fischer loved. It says gone 4-0 while. I guess, but that's not the last. I should have put that on the last game. But yeah, in general, this tournament, 4-0. Okay, because I guess this is the. I guess maybe this is the most famous one. They made this into a game of the day. See, back in 09. Okay, so he has black. Press I, you flip it. Every website has their own key. Chess.com has X. Lichess has the normal F. You press I, flip, hit E4, C5, knight F3, D6, 4 takes, knight F6, knight C3, A6, knight or variation. Bishop C4, there's your Fischer shows and stuff where the bishop tucks back to B3. It's like provoking B5. Kind of know he's going to be 5 anyway, but the thing is, if you don't go there, you're not going to get your bishop out, right? After, well, maybe you're going to, you either, you could play A4 and stop B5 altogether, but hey, you probably won't, you might want to castle queenside. You want to leave open the option to castle queenside. If you play A4, well, then you're going to get smashed on the queenside. So it's just flexible, it's provocative, but whenever black pushes the B pawn, you can strike back with A4 and stuff. So, or just play A3 to restrain it. So B5 is theoretically a weakening move. So it's kind of provoking that. He's obviously hitting E6. And one of the key ideas is that, obviously first you strike at F7 when he blocks E6. One of the key ideas is to go F4, F5, kind of like King's Indian, you play F5. Here, white plays F4. It's not locked up yet, semi-open position, but he plays F4, F5, strikes at E6, maybe provokes him to go E5 and opens up the diagonal, get the knight in. That's the hope for white, but it doesn't work out this game. Tal plays really nicely. So bishop E3, bishop E7. There's your F4 and queen F3. So a lot of times nowadays, people like to go bishop G5 and then F4. But queen F3 is possible. There's even a line, I think, where you go, I think Tal's actually done this, where he goes just queen in front of the pawn. Queen F3, maybe like bishop D3 or something. There's various ways you can play it. This is kind of a pieces behind the pawn scenario. You can prepare for some breaks, but he is creating some weaknesses by pushing all the pawns. There's your B5. Say there's your F5 striking him. And then you naturally have a B4 break. So the thing is, if you play E5, you give white access to D5. So before we consider doing this, let's kick the knight out of the way. Knight's not going anywhere. He's hoping for maybe bishop E3 to cover B6, but not happening yet. And then so you kind of have to do something about this. You can't just sit there. So that's the idea, that Fischer creates a crisis on E6. So if you push, well, that's what happened. If you don't do anything, he's going to win E6. 1, 2, 3 attackers, 2 defenders. But if you take it, it really benefits white. I mean, you can at least take with the knight. And you're hitting E7, you're hitting D6, you've got the open diagonal, you're hitting G, you got a mating attack against G7, F-file pressure, bishop's coming to H6 or something, queen can come to G. So you can see it's just really strong attack. Well, I guess bishop can take, but then you can probably take with your queen and come in. You got a really strong uncontested bishop. So you want to be, you don't want to leave this bishop just on the diagonal without even the prospect of challenging him. You want to at least challenge him with bishop E6. So this is very strong if you allow this. So first he gets rid of the knight, so no knight E5 options or anything. Then he plays E5, yeah, but he has to react, So E5 is natural, but again, you play E5 and there's no critical D5 invasions going on, right? If anything, it's benefiting Tal. So there's no knight E5. In some cases, you try to play D5 if you really back it up. Or just work around it, knight D7 to C5, maybe get rook behind and play for D5, maybe just put pressure on the C file. Keep in mind the bishop on B3 also is gluing, it's all glued together, it holds the C2 pawn. There's pressure on the C file. But what's the other way in which black is generating pressure on Fischer? I mean, right with this is just a nice maneuver right away. B4, E5, bishop E7. There's already a bit of a crisis for Fischer. What's that?
Well, the diagonal's open, even though there's not a way to exploit it at the moment.
Well, now that he's on B7, this is strong. Well, interestingly, both have diagonals, right? Our light square
Yeah.
bishop's aiming on this diagonal. We'd call that the, H1, A8 diagonal. And he's on the A2, A2, G8 diagonal. But what about the bishop? Like right when he comes out, and again, we already see a little bit of awkwardness with the knight on A4. Keep in mind too, when the bishop goes to E3, wants to anchor the knight in to B6, but you have knight BD7, so that's not really gonna happen. It's gonna be hard to achieve anything with the knight. But what do you think? There's something immediate, guys, with bishop B7. So it's an immediate crisis, just like there's a crisis. First, Fischer creates a crisis on E6. Now Tal creates a crisis on where? Because the locked nature of the pawns all of a sudden fixes his pawns in place to target. Oh, he's back in. Yeah, he lost connection. Let's see what he says too when Daniel. Daniel, are you back in? You lost connection. He's coming. You lost connection, Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, back. So here we are. What just happened is so you play Najdorf, right? So Tal goes for B4. So the knight, when he plays E5, because there's crisis on E6, right? So now the knight doesn't get to come into the weak D5. It's a weak square, right? The moment you play E5, I mean, this happens in Sicilian. It's often black earlier voluntarily goes E5, like Sveshnikov variations, right? The Boleslavsky hole. So yeah, he can't really exploit it though. Now immediately as a knight's a wayward on A4, it kicks the other knight backward. So he actually goes tempo, tempo. And why is this a good move, Daniel? Well, first of all, again, H1A diagonal, strong diagonal. But what's he attacking?
E5.
E4?
E5.
Wait, what's he right now? What's he threatening? Oh, D5 push?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about that as well. Right. Sometimes there's a famous game like Kasparov. He does it as a sack. It's kind of cool. Like the knight's on, I think it's on C6. He sacks, pawn takes, then he hops over to B4 and gets it back basically. And as I mentioned that the bishop though holds C2 and everything. So Fischer is pretty solid. It's hard to get it in now. Maybe after Rook D8 though, then you're ready. But there's something. So clearly he's grabbing onto this light square. So even though D5 is theoretically weak, we can still vie for that square. But there's really there's a crisis though right now. Look at black. You have to always look at the pieces that are out. Like I'm concerned if I'm playing with white, I'm concerned about the knight. Really, it's the knight, the bishop, and queen. Bishop B7, not quite yet, unless like he gets unleashed. But I'd be concerned about the knight, queen, and bishop. If I'm playing with black, I'm concerned about the rook and queen looking this way. And the knight on A4, this, bishop, obviously bishop on B3, maybe the knight on A4 if it can hop in, obviously looking out for that stuff. But where is the pressure that we have? There's just a threat.
Are you talking about bringing the bishop to E4?
Yeah, just snatch the E pawn. And then we'll have a lot of fun playing D5, right? Get rid of that pawn and we have both center pawns and we're just going to win. We're just going to steamroll him. Kind of like the Le Bourdonnais game, where he sacked an exchange. Remember, he steamrolled him with the 3 pawns on the second rank. You guys were there. Oh, I should have recorded that one. I don't think we recorded that. That's it. Well, there are YouTube videos on the Le Bourdonnais game. But yeah, he gets the famous 3 pawns on the second. So you steamroll him in Sicilian because we've already gotten rid of his D pawn. Now we get rid of his E pawn. Well, you win a pawn too. You have to sack an exchange, just win a pawn. So yeah, that's a big threat, right? What does he do? Knight G3, right? And Knight G3. I don't have the moves in front of me. We're just figuring out as we go, I looked at them briefly, but really it's just I want to explore them with you guys because it's kind of fun to do that. Just kind of skim through. It's like skim reading, Skim read the games, pick up ideas, discover as you go. Bishop C6, interesting. Well, this is a typical maneuver. You can always stick your bishop on B5 as well. You keep pressure on A4. You can also do the nice little queen B7 idea. That's that's difficult actually. That's the main threat, right? because we have 2 on it. He's got 2 on it. You bring a third attacker, you either remove a defender, you can't do that. So you bring in a third attacker, that's a crisis, really. And the knight's just pretty bad on a4. He's not going anywhere. He's hoping to play maybe c3, and if you take, he comes back. We can play a5, c3, a5. Just keep the knight stuck. See what he does. See what he does. Now you make a battery. Rocket aiming at e4, then he's able to guard. But you can clearly see that Fischer is not happy. So he has to hone this system. This system clearly didn't work against Tal. So I think we can say that Tal has achieved well, it's not over yet. It's not like decided as to the advantage, but I think you're pretty happy with black here. I mean, the only real potential problem is the d5 weakness, but kind of like e4 is a weakness, right? You know, so it's just, b6 is a weakness. Can you access it? No, not right now. d6, he can't access that. So it's only an issue. I mean, theoretically, all the pawns are weak at the beginning, but you can't really access them. It's about whether you can access them. I mean, of course, the more you push, the more exposed they get. But yeah, he can't really be accessed. And he could play d5 at will. 3 attacking it. No, sorry. Yes, he can. Because he only has 3. Fischer only has 3 holding that square. He'd have to have 4. He'd have to have the rook out. So he could do it, but then again, you would lose your target on e4. So it's kind of a tricky thing. You might do it to unleash your bishop, which he does. But yeah, it's a tricky thing because the moment you do it, you're like, yeah, your target's gone. But again, you give Fischer talking about giving some squares, give squares to get squares. Like e5, you know, playing e5, you grab d4, right? You know, you give up d5, but now you take d5. Yeah, theoretically, it's still a weakness in terms of no pawns guarding it, but he's still covering his pieces. Now he's got to worry about this diagonal, which is pretty vicious because the queen, if she moves, they're losing g2. So the knight could try to blockade, but it's pretty difficult, you know. There's a lot of pressure here. Now he's got a beautifully placed knight. Don't really want to play g3. You run into knight h3 check. So now I think we can say he's got a pretty nice edge building. Computer is probably like at least -1, but he's clearly building something here. A lot of, you know, fully developed. Maybe the rooks will, you know, have to figure out what to do. Maybe c8, but maybe c8. Now that's interesting. There's that g pawn push again, striking it. Funny, same thing, right? G pawn strikes at f pawn. Well, here's the thing. Well, if he doesn't take, we take and we create a crisis on the diagonal. What if he does take? Oh, I think Leia had to run. Yeah, thanks, Leia. Yeah, she has to go around 1. Okay, so what if, but it'll be on the video if anyone can't make it. It was a Memorial Day weekend, so it's pretty, you know, not a lot of people can't make it. Okay, so what if he takes? If he doesn't take, well, we could win the pawn. I'm not even sure if we, but we're in, you know, you might want to move your king off so when you take, he doesn't get a check, right? So for example, let's say he does something like random, you know, some random developing move or normal developing move. If you take, he can check. You might do it though. It's a little, I feel like there's some compensation, you know, maybe knight g5. It's probably fine. You could just go, no, you don't want to go there because you get mated, right? Maybe you just, you got to be careful about that one. I was about to do it. No, don't do that. Yeah, so you got to still be careful, but I might not do it immediately. Maybe you go king h8 yourself, then you threaten it. But again, the idea though, is if you don't take it yet, well, what if you induce him to take? What happens if white takes the g pawn? What do you guys see? Why is it strong for black? What does he do? In the game, he does take. Why is that strong for him? This is so nice. Just a really nice game. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think this one is the more famous one, which is why it's considered the game of the day. He actually does take it though. What do you guys think? I'll move it to this here. There's one clean idea. Oh, we lost him again. These connections not good. There's one clean idea. Just nice and simple. But there's another one which is a little more aggressive and pretty cool. What do you think, John? What do you think Fischer, what do you think Tal did after Fischer took the G pawn? Just your pieces are just ready to go, right? That's the thing about a Najdorf. It's like I call it nimble solidity. You know, it's like funny enough, I'm doing the martial arts chess event tomorrow, but it says nimble solidity. You know, you have a solid stance, but you're ready to strike at any moment. So like in a Najdorf where your pawns are back, you got a little more center than them though, with the two central pawns, but you're ready to strike. And the moment you do strike with D5, for example, look at that bishop. The bishop on C6 is a monster, right? Supported by the queen on the diagonal. I mean, you got a knight on F4. This just spells tactics, right? Bread and butter tactics they're building up. So what do you think it is? Is it, do you take back or do you do something else to exploit the diagonal?
Let's see. So if you took with the knight, if you took with the knight, what would that do?
Take back on G6 with the knight.
Yeah, not much.
Nah. Besides, the structure is going to get weaker. You want to, well, there's two things to do. One is to take it, which keeps the structure bound together. Well, what I'm thinking is, you know, you can certainly do this and open up the F file. This is the sober way of handling it, right? There's something else you can do too.
I was looking, if you took,
Daniel, you back in?
if you took with that
Yeah.
pawn, then all he has to do is move,
The queen?
all he has to do is move, I can't see the letters in the bottom.
Which piece? Yeah, it's kind of light.
ABC.
It's kind of faint.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
why they don't make any contrast. It's weird.
A, B, C, D, E, F. So if he took with the F7 pawn,
So Daniel, what just happened is this, he plays this nice G6 move to induce him to take. And we're saying, what if he simply takes? Then
I
what?
would think that would be dangerous because all he has to do now is move his C pawn, the white C pawn, and then you would have.
Well, it's not dangerous for black that much because he can still go here. And I don't see a follow-up. But the question is how dangerous. So it's not that bad for black. Well, there's like annoying stuff maybe, but I don't know. Can't play knight G6, it's pin. But the question is, does white have does white have to be concerned here? The thing is, like I said, I was talking about moving the queen. There's actually no knight threats, I don't think. Not yet. You know, it's F file pressure for sure. You split the pawns. So the E pawn's isolated. The knight blockades it, kind of like in that King's Indian version. So yeah, there's nothing quite there yet. How about, okay, here's what he does. Well, Daniel, why don't you take one shot at it? What do you think? Let me go back. He didn't take this way. Yeah, that's why he didn't take this way. What do you think he did? How did he strike at white's position? Very, very decisive strike here, which is just creating a very, very difficult position. Nice attack out of this move. Yeah, it's just like Najdorf, nimble solidity. He's real nimble. You're ready to, ready to strike at a moment's notice. What do you think he does?
HX.
H takes?
Yeah, H takes on G6. Yeah.
Still more aggressive. Take, it's nothing happening yet. Think about something else. Think about, I'll be right back, guys. But you think about, you guys discuss, try to find the move. I'll be right back.
I don't know. Do you see anything, Dan?
Yeah, not yet. Looking at it. Let's check for the check.
H.
No.
I don't know. If he took with the pawn,
There's no capture for the king. Okay, what
Yeah.
if we take? Okay, let's try something here. If we take the knight, that bishop captures. You understand what I mean now?
the knight captures.
Bishop. Bishop captures the knight, yeah. So if we captures this, I don't see any follow-up.
Yeah,
No follow-up.
yeah. So if he took with the pawn, I don't see anything either.
Okay, let's take sack knight, that give a check first. That knight page three. Check
Knight takes what?
knight h3, not take. Knight h3 check.
Oh,
You understand?
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something there. If queen captures, yes, if we captures, just want to see that.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Okay, if we captures, yes, just to see that. Apa?
Odogu. Allah. Now I go out.
So what do you think? I see it. Hello?
Hello?
I see it. What do you think? Found any follow-up?
H.
Sorry about the delay. You guys figure it out? Did you guys find something very strong for Tal, like aggressive, very aggressive move?
I don't know. Dan was saying something like, I think if you move, the knight to, what is that, H3?
Then what? Pawn, queen takes?
Yeah, I think he said.
If queen takes, then the knight on e4 falls. Actually, then you help him, Daniel. If you do that, you might help him a little bit, or her. What is that queen going to do? Well, assuming you take here, huh?
Yeah, not that. Yeah, that was the only thing I found.
Okay. I'll tell you guys. Oops. F5. So you hang the pawn on h7, but then again, like we said, if you need to play king h8, he can't reach you. They can't get to you. That pawn's doing a nice job. No bishop invasions or anything. Well, you're basically winning the knight, because You get out, there's no queen check to save them, right? You can at least win the knight, but you also have this, I mean, your goal, look, you have to stick with your goal. Even though it looks dangerous, your goal is to strike on the diagonal. You got a focal point on G2. You got to stick with the plan, you know, even though it looks crazy, but it's do or die, right? If you don't do it now, you know, maybe he can consolidate a bit. So you do it. Oh, he pushes. That's actually a pretty interesting attempt because if you go rook up, then I guess he can, then we could do maybe a pawn push and, you know, get his rook on get the bishop against the rook. So he's like, I'm fearless. I can go king h8. Now he does actually save the knight this way. So it's a creative defense, but he doesn't win the knight, but he doesn't really need the knight. He wants the diagonal. G2, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, equal material, 4 minor pieces each. But I mean, look at this attack. It's like, again, it's like in a King's Indian where you take back with the G pawn, you have those 2 pawns, same structure almost. Well, there's, yeah, the white pawns will be different, but usually pawn on D5, but similar structure in terms of taking back with the G pawn. So black would have like that. Maybe there'd be a pawn on D6, right? But still, same idea with the E and F pawn, like hanging. It's like the hanging pawns, like the C and D pawns, but these are hanging F and E pawns. Very dynamic, right? You get the rook coming, diagonal, you got G2, pretty crushing. So he creates this counter attack here. Now he doesn't have to worry about his queen. Well, now he does, but at the moment he's not hitting the queen, right? He gets rid of this one. Takes this. Okay, now what?
I think
Nothing too fancy, really. It's kind of like a nice maneuver. Nothing too fancy, really. What do you think? Kind of have to move your queen somewhere comfortable. But you have to be careful. I mean, this is a defensive move in a way, right? You move your queen away, don't give him anything, and then you proceed with your attack. I mean, this is a deadly attack on G2. The knight happens to be loose on C5, but like the most obvious move is what? Like maybe pin the knight, right? What do you think, Daniel?
I think we should go for Queen F7.
Okay, if you go Queen F7, that should be strong. He goes a different way. So same idea. You move the queen away, you still have lethal threats on the G file. But if you go to F7, at least white has kind of an annoying move that he can try, which is pretty annoying, actually. Yeah. What move is that?
I think you can capture on
Capture what?
F5.
E5 with the rook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that. It's too much counterplay. I mean, you have rook G8. No, I mean, that's the problem. You could take here, but it's not really threatening that much. You can do this. The rook's covering. If you go here, I mean, I think they can get away with this. Obviously not going to walk into the bishop. But let's say they go here. There's not a follow-up, right?
Yeah.
There's no rook move that does that much. I mean, there's no mate or something. And he is currently up a knight. And he's busting holes in your position. Yeah, F5 is hanging. So that move doesn't work. So he simply goes Queen C7. Just moves away. He guards the pawn though. But now there's still the crisis, right? Keep creating crises, right? G2 is hanging, but especially we don't want to take it yet even. You might even go rook G8 first. Could take it too. Look at that. So patient. It's really nice play. It's really instructive, you know? So he has to deal with this pawn. He does a crazy attack, a crazy looking attacking move. Like in the style of Tal. But you see, he's also measured about it, you know? So he defends the pawn on E5, defends it again, and then it's just a huge attack, right? He just carries out his attack, but he doesn't have to worry. So it's kind of like prophylactic moves that you insert. Insertion of prophylactic. Usually do prophylactic move before, but hey, you could just toss it in. Not really prophylactic. I mean, prophylaxis is preventing it in the first place, but it's here. We just support it. We don't give them anything. And now we're up in exchange. And then we have this nice move. Well, it's not just like throwing away your bishop. There's a very direct idea behind it. What is that? What if the queen takes?
Oh, then you take the knight. check.
Actually, yeah, if the king, well, either way, you also have rook g8 check. Well, you can certainly take the knight too. And you have rook g8. Well, if the queen takes, you go rook g8, right?
Right.
You win the queen. And then the knight's hanging too. So he tosses this move in. Like, okay, let's check you. Let's check. And then he resigns on the next move. How do you make him resign? Great debt. It's like it's a tactic. You know, if you take a6, like, okay, that's pretty good. You're up in exchange, but it's probably winning position, right? But let's keep this queen. Let's just finish this off. How do you guys think you finish it nicely?
Nicely.
D4.
Not
Queen D4.
queen where? D4? Queen D4, Daniel? What's your threat? It's covered, see? You have another way in. You want to create multiple threats. You can't stop them. Very direct attack with the queen. So similar.
I don't see it.
Sorry, I got a call.
You got to go? You got to go, you said?
I got a call.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're going to come back still? All right. Well, hopefully we can still
Oh,
play.
yeah,
We'll
no, I'm
play.
done.
Oh, you just have a call? Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So we got, you said, did you say it, John?
No, I wasn't sure.
Queen G7. Because now you have multiple threats. Well, no, you have multiple possibilities. So you want Queen H6 mate, right? But if he
Yeah.
tries to stop the mate, you mate him on, you come the other way. So like, how does he stop this? If he moves the queen away, he gets mated. He has to cover G4 and G2. Well, G2 check, then the rook's coming, right? That's done. He has no counterplay with anything else. The knight's not doing anything. Bishop's not doing anything. Rook's not doing anything. All he's got is his queen. But you want to mate him here, so he has to go Queen H5, right?
Okay.
But then you check him here, and then you mate him with the rook coming in. I mean, you could probably mate him in more ways than that. Oh, you can mate him now. You can make him give up his queen. Yeah, that's mate. That's mate. Mate in one. So yeah, that's it. It's Queen G7. Okay, Daniel, you see the final move there?
Yeah.
There was Queen G7. Oh, wait, let me go back home. You have to X off this thing to go back to the main line. I should pull it on the lead chess, but okay. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, sorry. He plays one more move. So that's a good move because that way at least he can play you know, the bishop can block, right? After the queen takes. But I mean he can cover, right? Queen can block him in and then the bishop can take that. But then here comes the rook and then he gives up. And again, the problem is the queen, well, she can't block because they get mated again through Queen G2, right? And then the queen, but again, we don't even need rook G4 because we saw we have Queen H2. So queen here we have Queen G2 mate. I'm sorry, Queen G2, and then queen takes H2 mate. And rook H6, you pull the queen, then you're going to pull the queen, right? Like let's say they do something random. you're going to pull the queen over, and that's when you get to do this one. And if they don't cover, well, then you're still going to mate on the H file with, yeah, it's H file. It's queen H2 or rook H6. One way or the other, you're going to mate them, right? So combination of those things. So it's a really nice idea. I mean, he built up, so he comes right out of the opening. You know, he gets this tempo, pressure on E4 with tempo, pressure, build nice. I like that. Just spend 2 moves. Finish your development. 1, 2. Crisis. Blast it open because you sensed it. Again, you can play statically, but like if you play statically, where's your play? You know, you're not quite winning E4, so it's like, okay, fine, I'll give up that idea. But he just sensed how strong it was to just blast it open. You know, if he doesn't want to give up that bishop, you give up that bishop, you have the uncontested bishop on D5, very powerful. Well, and then you, yeah, I mean, it's very strong. You move the queen, you lose G2. You block with the knight. It's just highly unpleasant. Yeah, we can strike at it more. We can open up the diagonal. We could just bring out our rooks and stuff. You can just play like rook C8. You can just keep getting your pieces out, and that's a crazy. Well, actually, check this out. If he defends, now it's game. How quickly that could be done. Bring out a new piece. Yeah, everything's collapsing. So he really does not want to give up that bishop for the knight. Well, if he doesn't, then we have the diagonal, and now we have our knight attacking G2. Now the only thing is we need to make him open the diagonal, which we did. Beautiful sack. I love that. Fearless play, cold-blooded play. You let him play C5 check. Doesn't do anything. You let him, you let him check with the queen, go in the corner, but you have to sense how strong your diagonal is, the H1, A8, and how his diagonal could be minimized, right? Minimize his pressure. Take. I'm not sure why he didn't take with the knight here. Guess he could have tried that. But yeah, probably still does not work. There's too much pressure. And then he just makes some nice defensive moves. He's just nice and calm, right? Move the queen, move the rook. Okay. Now G2 is collapsing. Also, if he plays G3, he gets the exchange if he wants anyway. No, does he have more than that? I don't know. I think he has King F1. He's okay, but you could just win an exchange. You still win the exchange, same thing, right? It's almost the exact same line. Just take on E1 instead of E2. So you get the exchange, and then nice shot. There's a shot right there. This was all direct, and then boom, finish him off. Shot, check, and simply maneuver to get, it's done. After the shot, it's just done. Pretty cool one. You guys have any questions on that one?
In the game from beginning,
From the beginning?
I noticed something. The white rook didn't move throughout the game.
The A1?
The white rook.
On
The
A1?
rook
Yeah, the rook on the queen side rook on the A1, yeah? Yeah. It's just sitting there. It never joined the game. The knight, okay. The bishop on B3 didn't do much, right? The bishop ended up getting blocked by a pawn. And the hope was that it made the pawn move. So it does get the diagonal. I'm not sure did he even need to play? What was the idea behind C4? I'm not sure about this move. It doesn't do anything really. Maybe he wants he's probably thinking of some attacking intentions like bishop C2 and, maybe push the F pawn or something vague like that. But yeah, Fischer had to refine his play a bit. Against a guy like Tal, he just wasn't there yet, he still knocked off some guys, obviously it's 16, but wait till he's in his 20s, right? Then he just got ridiculously strong. But yeah, this is Tal at his peak, right? Right before he became champion. Okay, let's just flip through the other two and then we can play a game if you want. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
So Fischer versus Tal, I think that's, let me just search for just to make sure that was that was the second one, right? And then the third one, Tal versus Fischer. And now we have another King's Indian. Here we go, beating the King's Indian. Let's just flip through these two, because I think you got the idea of his play. But again, you want to see when you study GM games, you want to see all the ways. Ask yourself, what are all the ways in which this player won? Like what are all the elements that they used, right? All the winning techniques, they all compound, right? They all add up. Okay, and you want to just pick up as many patterns as possible in the style of great GMs, right? World champs. Can't go wrong studying world championship games or, the games of world champions. Stair Wars. Okay. Well, they talked about Tal having his gaze, and who was it? Did they say it was Karras? No, it might have been Karras. It worked pretty well for Karras, but So I think Karras came with glasses. No, I'll have to check. I think Korchnoi did that before too. He came with glasses to avoid Tal's gaze. So Tal made a joke, and he got these huge glasses from someone in the audience, and he wore them too. So he had a sense of humor. There's also a time where he played Fischer, and he plays C6. He moves his pawn up. I don't know if it's from this tournament or not, but he takes his pawn and he moves it to C6. He looks at Fischer and smiles. Then he pushes it to C5. He's like, I'm not playing a Caro-Kann, I'm playing a Sicilian, which is obviously known to be, more. So Caro-Kann's solid, but of course, Sicilian's known to be very aggressive, which is interesting because it's a reversed English. And the English is not known to be, but it is too. The English can be very aggressive if black plays, C4, E5, it gets very dynamic. But yeah, C5 is the most basically among the most imbalancing moves. So it gives black good attacking chances. Okay, here we go again. King's Indian. Let's see how they differ. Same line, right? Same King's Indian line. Same thing. Let's see. Where does Fischer try to improve? This is the exact same position. You guys remember this? H6, right? It's the same thing. Oh, here. Divergence, H6. I forget. A6. In the other game, I think he ended up playing knight H7. Did he move the queen to E8? He may have played queen E8 then. I forget exactly. I think he played queen E8 for knight H7 then, because he has to get knight H7 without playing G5. I think he went queen E8, knight H7 or something. So A6. There's your queen E8. Now, how is A6 going to help him? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his idea is. He tries something, innovative. I don't know. Maybe the B5 push doesn't seem that sensible to me. So I don't really understand A6. Maybe it's directed against the plan of Tal. I don't know. Usually, if anything, they'll play pawn A5 to anchor the knight on C5. So let's say they go A5, typical King's Indian idea. And then when the knight goes to C5, you can't play B4. If you go A3, beautiful idea, A4. So they can't go B4 because you take en passants, right? So this is a very common idea. So right when he's ready to go B4, you take advantage of the en passant rule. And you can always guard it again with bishop d7. We have 2 guards on it. We can add a third. He only has 2 on it. We can get 3 on it. So it should be fine. Bishop can come. At least we have 3. We're going to hold that. So it's going to maintain the knight for now on C5 and is looking into B3. So really, if anything, they actually have to go B3 and to skirt the en passant rule, right? Then they go A3, and then if A4 is played, they can go B4. But hey, the knight could still come in, But still, that's if they really want to play B4, they have to actually go B3 first, then A3 to avoid the A4 idea, where he can't move because he takes en passant. So anyway, there we have our knight to D2 maneuver, and B4. You can go knight B3 to support the push if you need to. Okay, now Fischer tries something different. He's trading off the active bishop for his passive bishop, but he will weaken his king side a little bit. There's your knight B3, nice and clean, play for C5. And just like in the other one, he's putting the burden on Fischer. He said, hey, if you don't get your king side attack, I have my queen side attack coming again. So it's very interesting, to see an attacking player like Tal being comfortable being attacked on the king side. He's called, if you're a great attacker on the king side attacks, you're probably a great defender too, because it's coming. All the ideas to attack, right? Yeah. If it's legit or not. Okay, tempo 1, there you go. Bishop's missing, tempo on H6. Look at that. Nice. I like his piece setup. That's clean, right? Very clean. Knights working together, centralized queen, centralized bishop. It's interesting. He doesn't bring out his rooks yet, but probably like the other game, he went rook C1. The F1 rook is often good on F1 because let's say black plays F5, it opens up. Maybe you play F4, although I wouldn't usually recommend playing F4 for white because you're going to give him the E5 square. So let's see, like he plays C5, right? You say don't play on the side of the board where you're weaker. But like, for example, let's say he went F4, if he had gone here, oops, that's actually more likely to happen. But like, let's say he goes F4, takes. So suddenly, the knight comes out. It's pretty good freedom of movement for Fischer here. So you usually don't want to do that. He can make E file pressure. The knight holds F7. So pretty good. It's not perfect for Fischer, but at least he has activity with the knight. So usually you don't want to play F4. Sometimes you do, but generally speaking, you don't. That's why he plays for C5. And look, just beautifully set up, ready for his attack. Does he go for C6 again? Let's see. You can also, of course, just take on D6 later. Oh, this is also directed against knight. Oh, remember in the other game, knight B5 came? Well, what happened is he played B5. I think he took it, right? So A6 was played, but the knight came in. So now he's like, okay, you're not coming in yet. That was an annoying knight on B5. Okay, there's takes. Funny enough, Fischer lost to Reshevsky in the same way. It's in my study on pawn breaks. Also, Reshevsky took and played f4, and Fischer took there as well. The idea is that if you play, there's a nice Petrosian game like this where e4 is played, then he prepares a strike with g4. Maybe not now, but it could happen now. Beautiful game by Petrosian with an exchange, double exchange sacrifice, breaks through against the king. So you can see there's going to be some real problems if you take. Again, now we're already threatening like knight check here and stuff. So things like this, just to give you a sense. I'm not sure exactly that line, but the point is if you push, he also, oh, by the way, you give him access to knight d4, right? Knight d4, like in the other game, Daniel, right? Knight d4 to e6, same concept. But when he takes, oops, I have to go back. When he takes though, now, he's just black. There's that f5 pawn again. And now, Tal can attack on the king side again. So keep that in mind. It's not like Fischer has a license, whoever plays black and the king's Indian. It's not like you have a license, like the only one to attack on the king side. Basically what happens is he lets black go first, but black is going to leave weaknesses in his wake. This is a perfect example, and he's able to exploit it. Okay, he ignores the pawn. So it's just like in the other game where he plays f5 and he doesn't even take, he just like plays f5 and hangs his g pawn, takes, just plays f5. Here he takes on c5, just attacks the f pawn. Well, obviously it's a, he'll get a pawn back. So he's getting like 2-for-1 deal. So Fischer gets to take, gobbles up c5 and b4, but he doesn't even take. Oh, beautiful. He just doesn't take. There's your activation of the rook, right, Daniel? So again, Fischer's a novice in comparison. No, Fischer is showing that, he just doesn't have the skills yet. It's like he's just getting squashed. Look at the development. Central play, purely central play. And this king is not healthy on h7. Look at how snug his king is on g1. No one's touching him. You can play king h1 if you need to. That king on h7 is right in the crosshairs. Let's see how he reaches him. Knight's coming. Queen could come in. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh, he hangs the knight. Check. Okay, he gives this up because it's so strong, right? The rook's coming in too. So he gives up this. Here comes the rook. Interestingly, there are no checks on the back rank. There are no checks. This is A1's covered. That's nice, right? A1's covered. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Very smooth. And yeah, he just comes in. So what do we have? We're down 2 pieces. We're down a bishop and a knight, but we have 4. Well, the knight on b, amazingly, this knight is not needed right now. Earlier, he had the option to come in. He's not needed. He's just stopping all the checks. Queen actually from a distance covers b1. Knight covers a1, c1. You can always bring a rook back, but we have rook lifts. We have, I'm sorry. No, my bad. No, he has wait, it's rook for rook, knight for, no, I'm sorry. He has I miscounted. I mean, he has a knight and a bishop for a rook. Well, this is a great example of, he doesn't care about the pawns or anything. This is a great example of the rook dominating the 2 pieces. Usually 2 pieces are better than the rook, but they got to coordinate. I mean, you can often have like, a rook and a knight and a pawn that can dominate a queen, especially 2 rooks, but you got to coordinate. So black is not coordinated at all. And then he just exploits this, and now he's just winning an exchange. But again, the problem is that, he's down what, a couple pawns, 1 pawn. He's just down a pawn, yeah. But he's so tied up. He's just going to double on. Yeah, it's game over. He's going to double on the back rank, right?
Not just that. Go back.
He has this move.
So,
he has the idea of down. He has knight e7 ideas. What's that?
Like go back, like back. Previously, I wanted to check it.
Not. Wait. Oh, rook e6 here.
Yeah, after this. Oh, I thought no, don't take. I thought he has. I thought he has queen g6. No, sorry, yeah, g5. Yeah, g6.
G6. What if he just takes the rook? He just takes the rook on e8. Kind of losing the firepower, right?
Yeah, check. Okay, yeah.
Because he has amazingly, like Fischer has h6 covered. He has the diagonal covered, and now he covers the back rank with the knight by taking the rook. So, and then Tal is covering all of his checks. It's a really interesting situation. really nice coordination, but Fischer is he's dangling by a thread. He's trying to hold it together, but he just can't. Well, now the question is, okay, we cash in with an exchange up for a pawn. So it's an extra point after all is said and done. But now, yes, there's the knight e7 idea. So the idea is that you can't take e7 because you lose f8. So you still have to show proper technique. Let me double check what he did on that move. One sec. I'll pause it so you guys don't see it. He actually, here's the thing. You need to bring in a new element. You need to bring in a new element here, right? Because, well, one thing is if you get another pawn, your job will be even easier. But the thing is, you can't take the knight. You lose your rook on f8. You can't take c8 because the knight's covering. So it's amazing. So again, Fischer's like dangling by a thread here. He's not losing everything just yet. But we need to bring in another ingredient. So Fischer is petrified, right? He can move like his h pawn or a pawn or something. But he's pretty much petrified. So how do we exploit this while he's there? We have to bring in a new ingredient, guys. What's our new ingredient? It's
The
not
knight?
Yeah,
knight.
the knight.
Interesting
Knight.
move. Knight where? Very interesting concept.
D4,
So d4, where's he going?
D4, and then what is it?
Maybe
D-
e6.
E4 and E6.
Well, if we can get to e6, it's very interesting actually. So you have to like, we're going to win something, but it's actually murky. It looks like it, because if we go here and okay, let's say he goes like a5, and may as well just try and do that, right? It's best chance maybe here. So then we go knight e6 check. Now, if he moves away, we actually can take this now, because he's not going to take our rook. The only reason we can't take the knight is because he's looking at our rook with the king, right?
Yep.
So what he does is he actually gives up another exchange. Problem is, when you take this, now he can take this guy. I don't know for sure, but it looks a little dangerous, because now he takes this guy and he's looking at a2, and so he's down 2 exchanges, but he actually currently, at least he has 2 pawns. I'm not sure if white wins them back, but he has 2 pawns. He has 5 for 3. So it's like a pawn for each exchange. He's hoping to get these pawns rolling. He's hoping to take this. Well, if you haven't played a5 yet, then a2 is hanging without getting taken. So it's kind of murky actually, right? So he's trying to achieve the cleanest version. It's very important though, because you might look at that and be like, oh yeah, of course, let's centralize our knight. It probably works, but no, you don't want any murkiness. You want to make this nice and smooth, right? Knight a5. So now he ends up rerouting him to c4. So then you can, he stops him first. But so I suppose you could take b7 if you really want to. I don't know, we're not in a rush, Here's the thing. We're gonna go for, no, you know what? We're gonna make a zugzwang. We're gonna make a zugzwang here. We're gonna create zugzwang, beautiful, because if he, okay, you don't want him to stop pushing, then he has plenty of play over here, right? You don't give him that. You stop his h pawn, right? In the game, you stop his h pawn. If you win this, you push these, but even if you don't, yeah, you have the stuff winning over here on the king side to come, right? He can't take with the knight because he loses the bishop. He can't play c6 because you play d6, make the knight move, then take the bishop. He can't play b6 because you go knight c6, trade off the knight, then take the bishop, right? He can't play b3 because you just take it. He can't move his king away because then you take the knight and you have no more pressure on the rook. That's crazy, right? Amazing. So, something has got to go down when you have this much pressure on the back rank and he's pinned. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So, but finally, if he doesn't do anything, well, I think we're going to force him to give something up, like a zugzwang. But if he doesn't do anything, at the very least, you can go knight c4. You can play d6 to chase the knight, so he has to take, probably. Knight takes, attacking the bishop. All we have to do is attack the bishop again. Then we eat. Then we can eat everything. So, yeah. Wait. He looks like he plays knight c4. Let me see the finish. Oh, okay, wait. So the idea, oh, right, because his only move is with at the moment is rook to b8. So he's gonna go rook. He literally only has one move, which is rook b8 and then rook a8. That's how he avoids currently a Zugzwang. He's in a near Zugzwang, but he has shuffling, and then you can't, carry this out yet. So you simply go knight c4 then, and that's where we're gonna have our d6 push, which is decisive. Oh, he's got this move though. But then we can wrap around and we could come to c6. So something's going to go down, right? Something's got to go down. This is just too dangerous. He's going to lose something. Oh, he resigns now. But yeah, you simply, oh, wait. We don't need knight c6 anymore. Wait, so what was the last move?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, actually, no, you know what? No, you could have played d6, but no, this is easier. This is just coming here. Why is it so strong, Daniel? This is the easiest win. What's happening next?
Yeah, we have rook f7.
Right. He can't move the bishop. Rook move doesn't do anything. Let's say a5. Check. Game over. Yeah, now he's up a rook, and then he can come.
Nope.
Is there a mate? Is there a mate?
Checkmate.
Oh, there's a mate. There's a mate. I was like, let's go take the knight. No, let's go get a mate. That's nice. That's nice. That's forced, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's forced, yeah. Because we're here.
Yeah, it's forced.
It's forced. He only has one move. Oh, that's beautiful. So h4 is part of his mating net. So, I mean, at the very least, you can win all of his pieces. You can win the knight, come back, win the bishop, have a rook and a knight extra, or we could just go mate him. But so it's nice, like the efficiency is very nice. Okay, I'm not gonna like on the last one, I just want to look at it real quick just to have all four. That's Stair Wars. You guys have any final thoughts about this one?
Nope.
I'm just gonna blitz through the last one, just so we have them all in the video. We can always review, but that's a really nice idea. Take f4. It's a common way to handle is f5. So you don't really want to just take it and let them sit there and come at you. You want to strike back with f4, very important move. And then he just, weakens everything. But I love it. I love it. He's like, go ahead, take my c pawn, take my b pawn, take my knight. And then he breaks through, and he has two pieces for the rook. Fischer has two pieces, but they're not coordinated. Beautiful coordination, no checks for black, no counterplay. And then he just cashes in. He's up in exchange, but he can't hold the knight / defend against the mate. So it's beautifully done, huh? Really beautiful game. I mean, they're all beautiful games. A really amazing chess by Tal. So you can see he's a great endgame player too. Great tactician that carries into the endgame. Okay, finally, I'm just going to blitz through it real quick. He draws against Petrosian. He beats Fischer, and then he draws against Benko, and he's way ahead. What was he? 18.5 was Karas, and he had 20. So he's still, well ahead of Karas. Let's see, what was Karas's last result? I don't know. I'd have to pull up his. So we have Fischer versus Tal. Big and tall. Okay. So he has black. So let's go here. Okay. So let's take a look at the last one. So basically they're playing Sicilians and King's Indians, very aggressive openings. Okay, so I'm gonna do a Najdorf again. So he does a King's Indian. He plays against the King's Indian. Same thing. Fischer tries a6, doesn't work. Let's see what Fischer tries differently this time. Same thing. Fischer Sozin, same line, right? Let's see, where does he diverge? I think that's the same move, if I recall. F4, Queen F3 line, right? Oh, he diverges. I think, yeah, Queen F3 happened in the last game. He may have played what, like, I forget what move he did now. He may have just brought out the bishop or something. Yeah, he may have played Bishop B7 or just some, he didn't play Bishop B7, that came later. He didn't do this either. It might have been like Queen out, that's common. It might have been Queen out. I think it was Bishop B7, just developing move in the last game. We have to double check, but just developing. But this time he goes, remember he waited for F5, then he went B4, E5. This time he just does it. So obviously I done some research on it after the game. He decided, says if he plays this again, I'm going for this line. So he actually does a cutthroat line. He's like, I'm going to take the pawn, which is, I mean, obviously Tal sees that he could, Fischer sees that he can win the pawn. But Fischer has a lot of play, right? He's like, I'm just going to castle. And again, we have this pressure. He wants to play F5, chip at this again, right? He wants to create an attack. He wants Queen F3 possibly. But if you go Queen F3, you can probably guard it. We have Bishop B7, you might even have D5. It's dangerous. I mean, the thing is that he has f5. So he goes g6. This is crazy. Cutthroat, guys. Cutthroat. Fearlessness. But keep in mind, it's a Sicilian. And a Sicilian, black has more central pawns. White's really going to have to prove this. You know, White's getting open lines. There's a cool Karpov game like that. Just gets the E and F5. You know, he has the F, E, and D half open files. But that knight is just anchored in there. Hard to get in. He's hoping for maybe queen h5, some sack or something on e6. So he sacks immediately. Does he take? No. So he simply just says, I'm going to take your F pawn and I'm going to use the G file now. I mean, what do you have now, right? And then I'm going to go bishop b7 and do the same thing against g2. What? This is crazy. So Fischer walks into a fork. Amazing. So he wants him to take, and then he wants to probably, I think the follow-up is queen takes. That's a fork. Just gets his material back with advantage. Black has no development, right? So he'll get, so we already saw Tal with his deep understanding of how to develop in the last game, right? Good example of that. So he's not going to fall for this. He's going to break a7. Nice defense. So he's like, look, I'm just going to keep my, no. Yeah, he's up a pawn because he temporarily had 2 pawns, gave it back. So he's up a pawn. Oh, what a mess. This is crazy. And I think he's like, he knows. The thing is, I'm pretty sure he already knew he was going to win the tournament. So he's playing, I mean, this is super messy, right? He's already played beautiful chess. He's like, let me test you out, Fischer, young Fischer. See if you could beat me now. I kind of tried that last weekend with a weird version of the hippo and it failed. But this is Tal, so yeah, much higher level. But he got away with it. But no, it's quite cool. So he's giving the pawn back, right? He has terrible pawn structure. This is just junk pawns everywhere, right? D6, F7, H7. White's got solid structure. White's ahead in development. White's castled. But he pulls this off. It's crazy, right? Another game of the day. I mean, it is interesting to see. I love Fischer's game, but it's interesting to see him get beaten. Now, if this had been this was 1959. If this had been 1969, totally different picture, right? Okay. He's just attacking the knight and the pawn and mate. Did he just miss that? I think he either missed it or he was anticipating this move. I don't think it does anything. He's going to have 2 pieces for a rook, maybe. Wait, what is this? He just failed tactically. He just collapses against. I think he was in it's very psychological too. Like, look at this position if you're playing with white. It's like, what on earth is black doing, right? How is Tal going to do this? How is he getting away with this? But it's amazing. Look at this. I love this idea. Rook a7, e7. It's like it covers f7. It covers the e file. There's no accessing the black king anytime soon. So it's like the ugliest position. He's not even up any material, right? And yet he still pulls it up. Here's the thing. I think, and then he gets thrown off though. And it's not like, I mean, it's not like Fischer has anything immediate, right? He has the F file, it's covered on F7. E file, nothing there. Bishops, where do you go? Maybe you can't go to G5, you can't go to H6. Guess you could take H7, just open lines against your own king. So you see the knight's still on A4, awkward piece. Bishop, there you go again, Daniel, undeveloped rook in the corner. It's not, it's a very deceptive position. I mean, maybe it's really good for white, I don't know, but he pulls it off. Boom. It's just a fork. It looks like it's purely a fork on A4 and G2 with the mate idea, right? It's funny how you keep on getting similar themes. I mean, he wins in different ways in every game, but you see similar themes against certain targets. What do you think?
We have this is a win.
What's that? It's just a win, right?
Yeah, if bishop captures, right? Attacking the, or do you have any way to do that?
It's just mate. I mean, what does he even do? It's just a mate threat. There's no, I mean, he has to guard. What does he do? He goes, so he just goes queen f3. I think it's just lost, right? I mean, he has a little bit of play on, but again, like D6 didn't work, right?
Yeah.
White's king.
Nice.
Actually, White's king is more exposed than Black's king in some ways. Because now you come back, then the knight is hanging, but if you take the queen, the knight takes back. And again, he's willing to have two pieces against a rook, which are good, very good winning chances. It'll be two pieces versus a rook, down a pawn, but so it's equal material, but almost always, I mean, we really prefer the knight and bishop if we can coordinate them at all. So he takes here, but then he just checks and he gets it back. And now he's down a piece. Oh, wait, no, you still got to stop him. That's beautiful. I mean, you have to look at the whole, it's like almost a, yeah, you almost have to see the full thing. Because if anything fails in this whole sequence, it's all forced, right? So you take this. Maybe there are other moves, I don't know. But there's a fork now. This is a counter fork, right? So he goes here, he gives him the knight. If he takes the rook again, same thing, you trade in the end game. I mean, it's got to be a good end game. It's tricky, but it's a good end game, of course, to have the two pieces. If he simply takes, and you should, yeah, just probably take, just trade. And two pieces against the rook, and that's it's tricky because the knight's not out and everything, but you'll mobilize them pretty soon. This is guarded. The rook can lift or something. So it's probably still very, you could even press the computer. I think it'll still, it's not 100% clear, but if you press engine, I'm sure it still prefers black. Nope, it says it's even actually. Yeah, it's like, it's a little bit of a, at least maybe, but still from a human perspective, I'd prefer black. But again, like I said, it's not like in the other game. This is a little murkier because the pieces are actually coming out. The knight's awkward, the king's in the center. You know, the black pawns, as I said, they're kind of, you know, these junk pawns, like a junkyard of pawns, right? So it's a little bit different. But still, I would still prefer to be the guy with the two pieces for the rook. But yeah, hey, I mean, coming out of that crazy position, they're not so bad. But yeah, so he doesn't like lose it outright. But now he's just up a piece. Then he just, look at this, everything folds into place. Okay, take this back, check, cover, check, cover. Aha, he still has this move. It's kind of crazy still. You got to pull this off. So this requires, you know, you want to go for the gusto. You want the win. So you have to play crazy moves sometimes to allow this to happen. I mean, you have to be willing to go into this. It's cutthroat, but you want that victory, right? You're willing to do anything it takes, even get yourself in danger as long as it's not like losing. But sometimes it's bad and, you know, you're going for victory. It went on for a while here. So again, we're just going to flip through it and then we can, and then you want to play a quick one, Daniel?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's just flip through the rest real quick. Oh, wait, let me go back to, let's go back to, I mean, yeah, this is certainly, a lot of people would be very scared, but look, I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, how did you even get in here in the first place? I mean, it was crazy, you know, so certainly did Fischer get an attack? Yeah, he probably would have beaten most people. Most even GMs would. I mean, this is a rough position for black for sure, right? But then again, you know, you're going to cover the E file. There's no checks right now. But then the check, now it begins. Okay, so we're down a pawn for a piece. Checks, take, check, take. I mean, it's got to be advantageous. It's still messy, but that's a piece. That is a piece. Rook F1 check, you got to play King G7 and try to hide an H8 or something. Okay, so he's not going to trade queens. You come up, you can hide your king a bit. Still, but it's such a hard position because your king's still a bit exposed. But still, I mean, look, you're out of checks now. You can create counterplay on G2 and H2. Yeah, he just wants to play bishop C7 and try to mate him on H2 and make it, you know, he wants initiative. Aha, we go. Okay, there we go. We forced it. Now it's still tricky though. Very hard position because if you trade off those pawns, it's a draw. Trade off all the pawns. White has 2 extra pawns. He can use each pawn, king side and queen side, trade off one of black's pawns. If he can, it's not easy. If he can, it's a draw. Also, if you win the G pawn and the H pawn, your pawn on H7 is in the same color as the bishop. Okay, mobilize your king. Nice technique. Like I said, he's a very strong endgame player. I think he doesn't get enough credit for that. People are you're known by the thing, right? Oh, brilliant attacker, but he's world champion, so obviously he's got to be good in the end game. Okay, so what is he doing? Aha, very important, very important. No one's going to touch the B pawn yet, but that you just can't trade that, right? If you trade that off, I don't know, maybe he gets it. Maybe he gets it. Let's see. He has a rook check. Check, check. Yeah, he's not getting the pawn. It's very important though. I don't think you can give him this pawn. It's a very strong pawn, but if you give it to him, I mean, that's going to be real hard to win with only the H pawn. Okay, he just must have pushed his pawn and win. I don't know. Little counterplay by white, but that's he resigned. Yeah, a little counterplay, but that's rough. How does he even stop this? He can't stop it at all. King A5. Okay, we go down. We win the rook, right? And then easy. Rest is easy. You just use your bishop to stop the pawn, but we can probably, like the other game, Daniel, we could win a piece or we could mate, right? I think we're going to mate we're going to mate him in a few moves with the bishop, rook, and king is already on the side. And, something like this, and then we just push him over, right? So yeah, it's nice, really amazing 4 games there, and they all happen to be brilliant games. I mean, that's why he won the tournament so decisively. He was just on fire. Okay, let's play a quick one. What do you think? What do you want to do, Daniel? How many minutes?
Give you like 5 or more.
5 plus 5?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not signed in. Wait, are you on chess.com? I could get his chess.com quickly. I'd have to. It'll take me a minute to get on Leech. I could just send you an anonymous request. Just to do a practice game. Because I don't have to sign into Leechess to do that. You want me to send you an anonymous request on Leechess or chess.com?
Leechess.
Yeah. Are you signed in?
Good.
You're signed in or no? It doesn't matter. The nice thing about Leechess is I can just challenge you. Huh?
Let me send the calendar.
Yeah, I got it here. I'll just send it to you. So I'm going on Leechess.
Okay.
So all I got to do is wait, you plug it in. So all I got to do is just send you a challenge. So play, create a game over here. I need to create a game. 5-5. Random color, I guess, or do you want to choose a color?
Yeah, right.
Random?
Is it 10 plus 5?
10-5?
Yeah.
I mean, play with a friend. I mean, play with a friend.
Chetam. Okay.
And then all I have to do is I take the link, I send it to you in the chats, and you can, yeah, if you open it from your username, then it'll be easier to save it, and you can save it and analyze it. Doesn't really matter, but if you happen to have it, you can analyze it more easily. Because you can't run a computer analysis otherwise. You'd have to copy and paste the PGN. All right, good luck.
I mean,
Oh wow, you're up to 21-26. Your rating went up, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll be ready for you. Let's see. Should we do a Sicilian? I guess because we've been watching Sicilian. Should I do Sicilian? What do you guys think? Sicilian, Caro-Kann, or Scandinavian?
Sicilia. Let's go.
All right, let's practice Sicilian. I haven't played it much recently, but I mean, Sicilian is always fun and cutthroat. Maybe you can do some.
I do play D5, D5, and D4. I don't know. Let me go for D5.
Oh, bishop b4. Oh, you're playing the canal attack or the Moscow variation. I think this is the most cutthroat because it doesn't even allow a trade. I've seen Kasparov play bishop d7 and with a draw, I think it was, but knight d7 is the most aggressive, but then again, it's a little quiet, right? But the idea is, maybe try and make white take and get the bishop pair, so it's just more imbalanced. Develop. Yeah, this is almost like you almost don't want to spend time on a6 because white has a nice lead in development, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's either probably I'm looking at either g6, e6, or even e5 just to lock it down, but you expect some pawn pushes. What is the move here? It's been a while. G6. I mean, yeah, you can certainly play g6 here. I think that's a common move. But then you can play for d4 and you can try to sort of transpose into a regular version of a Sicilian. E5 is interesting. That actually becomes like a Chigorin variation or something. It's interesting if black is trying to gain some more center. E4, I don't know. I think g6, d4, takes. I'm gonna try e5. Let's see what happens. Looks kind of interesting. I think this is a move. It's been a while.
That's always the best move.
Yeah, you can certainly go here. And we'll see what decision you make with the bishop. Are you gonna take it? Okay. I think I take with the knight so I can support. And then continue my development without worrying too much about my pawns.
Awesome.
Now I can hold off because John, I was thinking about his pawn push, e5 and stuff. So I'm like, I'll just hold him off. Bishop pair, see if they can activate. It's a little tricky. Interesting. But yeah, this looks like Roy Lopez, Chigorin variation. They play c5.
Yeah.
Has some sense. If you play with the knight takes, it's like a Sicilian. So it can become like a Sicilian if you trade the D for the C. Take this way is just natural, but I don't know. It's like the Tal game, right? He did this setup. Not that I'm playing like Tal, but you can play.
Yeah.
I think you take this way. It's possible, but I think the dynamics is learning from Fischer's mistakes in those games. Again, this is young Fischer, right? But learning from his mistakes is slow, right? You bounce forward. You can play bishop b7, you still try and play that later, stuff like that.
Yes, this knight is too strong.
Yeah, I forgot. No, it doesn't work. I have to take with the pawn. I lose the pawn. Okay. You could have taken my e-pawn. I mean, I would have had a lot of play, but still, you could have taken it.
No.
Huh?
I don't think I needed the file.
Yeah, I still have to react to it. Let's see. But I guess I play like Gambit style now because I have I can still create play. But do I want to lose? I probably don't want to lose this pawn. I don't want to lose this pawn, I think. Queen c7, you can do that, and then let's see. Actually, no. It's tricky now. Trying to deal with this. No, I think I can give you the B pawn, maybe open lines and just not lose this. The other line is like rook b8, but then knight takes threatens. No, knight takes threatens knight c6. Rook b8, knight takes. Queen c7. Oh, I don't know. The bishop, but like the bishop pair is going to have open lines, so it'll get messy. Let's see. Rook b8, knight takes e5, queen c7. So I either give you the B pawn or the E pawn. That's interesting. Okay, I'll give you the E pawn.
All right.
'Cause I get more initiative. I get more play with this line, you know. I get tempos and stuff, so it seems to make more sense.
I think I don't know, but I think it's blunder. Oh, let's try.
Interesting. Take it. Yeah, it was one or the other, but I feel like this way I get some tempo on the knight and B file play and D file. So you know, it's all about the bishops. If the bishops can get compensation and I do finish my development, you know, it's interesting. I was just thinking, I was like, oh, I want this structure. I wasn't thinking you were gonna take it, so I didn't consider this bishop takes line. It's like, oh, this looks nice. Knight wants to come into D3, bishop B7. Like, oh crap. That's all right. Come here. So do I take maybe it'd probably take to create pressure on B2, yeah? But you have a nice solid position. So you're doing very well.
Okay.
Have to make counterplay here. Get some counterplay. Yeah, for sure I have some open lines to use. So you have to play, if you're gonna be able to do something with the extra pawn, you gotta be precise, yeah? I have this move now. Yeah, it's very interesting. You see that John, 2 bishops against 2 knights. He has to, I mean, I can kick his knight out. I can kick your knight with F6 or bishop F6 or something. But I don't want to do it yet. Interesting. Yeah, it's probably strong. Good move again. Playing well, man. You got stronger, huh? No, you're already playing well before, but this is very good.
Yeah, I do play games when I'm free, so I think that helped me a lot.
What is? What helped you?
Hmm?
What helped you?
I have a lot of books, like chess books. I do read them when I'm in the shop.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Just my country is getting bad every day.
You're what? Sorry?
I said my country is getting bad every day.
It's rough right now.
You said?
It's difficult times right now.
Difficulties, like understatement.
Right, right. Like problems with what? Like Boko Haram and stuff?
We have shifted from Boko Haram now. insecurity is very high.
Yeah, because they're like you have to deal with them in the north, yeah.
Yeah,
So have you had any problems with them?
so I'm planning on relocate. Like if I get the resources, I will relocate.
They what? Sorry?
Then
You said they recruit?
I didn't hear you.
You said little kids?
Yeah, if I get the resources, I will relocate.
Hmm. Oh, you'd relocate. Yeah.
You understand now?
Okay, so you still have a pawn up. Open lines.
Yeah. Mom Joy. Yeah, Jeff. I'm looking for a way. I need to grade those queens. Then I'm okay.
Ideally, yeah. You have to be a little careful, yeah. Some tactical ideas.
I'm just like, yeah, give me that queen.
No, no, I'm not giving it to you.
All right, then I'm getting it. Yeah, give me the queen. Oh.
Okay, he's not coming. Your knight is not going to come in.
I saw some move here. If you don't want to give me my belongings, then let me control the line.
Can't go wrong with that, yeah. Okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. You're giving me enough time, huh? Like I don't need
Yeah.
to make a good to have a good game, huh? All right, all right. Let's try this. Interesting position.
I don't know about that. You used to be okay with low time. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I can
I don't
handle it
just like
sometimes.
it.
I can handle the increment a lot of times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember we
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
play that.
Yeah, we have some crazy like playing on the line, right?
Yeah, you used to handle low time really good.
Sometimes. If I'm feeling sharp.
Most times. Okay. Thanks for permitting me. I think. Should I be worried? It's already dark here.
I have some tricks, huh?
I think so. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, your rook can't, your rook's a little loose. I think you have some resource, but your rook's a little loose in there.
Yeah. The boy's a problem.
Intense game, huh, John? Crazy game.
Yeah,
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he has good plays, knight, well placed knights. It's like knights versus bishops, a lot of piece play, a lot of maneuvering. And yeah, he has a pawn, but it won't count yet. But in the end game, it has an extra central pawn, but still it's difficult. It's not very complicated. Okay.
It's in trouble and he's still capturing.
Huh?
I said I'm in trouble and I'm still capturing.
Maybe I give an exchange, but like exchange for 2 pawns, maybe. We'll see.
That's how it goes.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm gonna play bishop e7.
Bishop is 7. Yeah, I have knight. I think is that working? I have knight c6.
Okay.
Both
I
the
think-
bishop and the.
I take first. Let's see. You have to be careful. Yeah, maybe at least you might lose an exchange, but let's see. Does knight c6 work?
Okay. I know. I
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I can play queen. I couldn't even play bishop takes d6. Probably queen takes d6. Yeah, I could just take the rook. So you can't do that. But I mean, worst comes to worst, you just lose. Probably you could just get just lose the exchange. You're too much. But you have to be careful still. Yeah, you gotta be very careful.
Mama. Hey, senor. Mama.
Yeah, Otherwise, I take d6, I have rook b1. If you defend with the rook, I just go rook b1 check after, right?
Yeah. So I guess this should be the best move.
I guess so, yeah. So you have, at least you have two extra, at least you have 2 pawns.
I think you are still winning.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't know, but maybe
Let's see.
rook
Okay, I play
b.
bishop takes d6 or queen takes d6. Probably just
If
queen.
you
Just queen.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
I lose it if I don't have a rook. Yeah, if I don't have a rook there, I lose. I need to have this rook here. Yeah, if I take with the rook, I'm losing. I can anchor it. So
I guess I'm losing the game already.
you don't have to trade queens. Yeah? But you at least you have 2 pawns. Yeah. But... Okay, the rook finally. The rook lesson. Develop the rook. Yeah, the rook has to come out. Okay.
I think nothing to try here. Okay.
You can trade everything. you can trade everything.
I have nothing to do again.
Yeah, pretty much just try to stop your king from coming and then wrap around. That's the easiest way, I think.
Oh no. that was a great blunder.
I mean, yeah, once you have a locked up, you can't stop it. So. Good game, man. Yeah, I knew the bishops gave me some counterplay, but you're probably, I bet you, let's check. I bet you computer said you're ahead a lot at some point. No, that's interesting. It gives you a slight, well, I have compensation, but I thought you would just take the pawn. You see my screen? Yeah, oh, it likes this tempo move. It likes this move a lot. Oh yeah, I guess I get like some. Wow, it prefers black now. Amazing. I mean, I guess I have good play. You know, I'm down a pawn, but I have a lot of play. The bishops are pretty annoying. The knight's gonna get kicked back eventually. What's it saying? What? Why is it sacking the? Oh, try to win the knight with h5. Oh, the knight. Oh, that's why you go c4. You're trying to go c4.
Yeah.
And oh, you don't have time for this. Oh, that's why it's strong. Okay. Yeah, now you saw John, you can't take his bishop b3, right?
Yeah, because of the fork.
Yeah, and if you don't take, then I just sink the bishop here. But yeah, I didn't take advantage of your knight. It's complicated. Yeah, you're still up a pawn, trading pawns, bishops are active. It's complicated. So we play accurately. Yeah, is it accurate?
That's why I needed the exchange.
The H what?
I needed to exchange the queen so I could be comfortable.
Yeah, you could certainly, yeah, you had back rank mate problem later, so maybe H3. Yeah. Doesn't like this. Like, yeah, I can play H6, sure, why not? F6. No, it's okay. Yeah, that was a blunder. Because now you saw John, yeah, you simply can't go this just loses on the spot because the back rank problem.
Yeah, the bank.
So yeah, that's the problem, so that it's stuck there. Wait, is that correct? It's good enough. Yeah, I thought about this, but I'm like, this one trades queens, but yeah, I thought about that first, but I figure if I take this way, you won't trade queens. I don't know. But yeah, it's just winning. So at that point, yeah, this was just a blunder. Well, the thing about the rook move is that, I mean, oh, you want to go rook c6. Yeah, just play h3 first then. And then you don't have to worry about the back rank mate, and then you come in. But even there, like, I don't know about that move. Maybe there, maybe something like that. But yeah, good game, man. Good game.
Yeah, sure.
You want to do one more quick one or no?
Okay, let's play 3-3.
3-3? Yeah, 1-3-3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do a quick one. And you have it saved. Yeah, you have your game saved because you're signed in. Try to ride that 3-second increment. Okay, I'm sending it to you. And John, yeah, feel free, if you're free, John, feel free to hang out, or unless you have to go, but feel free to watch if you want. You're good to go, John? You're still free?
Yeah, I'll watch this, then I'll take
Okay.
off.
All right. Let's play that. I've been playing this one a lot. Yeah, John, you saw the other day. I messed it up. I messed it up the other day. But no, I was playing as I was playing as a tough one. He was another coach, actually. So dark square control, you get light square control. Yeah, I think it's just a pawn. I think you're okay, but I probably get a pawn. Not a huge deal. I mean. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, I think. Oh, I think I misplayed that, but yeah, I think I misplayed it. No, but if I tried, yeah, I definitely misplayed that. I could have gone bishop 8, but yeah, it would have been messy. Because I was trying to play f5, right?
F5.
I was trying to play d3 f5, but now your queen guards f5, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I was like, I thought you had something against my bishop, but maybe not. But I forgot, yeah. Let's see.
Oji. I didn't meet you. Just this in class.
Oh, I should have taken John. You see, I should probably better to take first.
Yeah,
Maybe. I mean, it still does the same thing, but you get. I think it's a tempo.
Let's check.
No, now I just take. Oh.
Nah, bro, we did. Nothing wrong with that. You don't reach.
Is it e5 block the bishops? Don't want him to block. That's good.
5 days. 5. Talk with person.
Yeah, there I go on my increment, right? Now you got me in time pressure on the increment, right?
He said,
You got me on the increment now. My favorite increment, right?
yeah.
Watch out for your increment too.
Should I? Oh, it's okay by you. My belly don't appear.
Oh, crap.
Guess your mind wasn't there. Yeah. Love this.
This is kind of crazy now, huh?
Love this. Yeah, checkmate is there.
Oh my God.
Mm. Let's do this. Very funny.
Oh, you were guarding the rook. You were guarding the rook. I didn't notice. Your queen was guarding the rook.
Yeah, I really said, no.
You were being nice. He
Mm.
was being nice, huh?
I think I'm the one in trouble here.
No, you were being nice. You could have won.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. Okay, no, now he's not being nice. What?
No.
Fine. No, that was a nice mate. Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. I didn't look at. I wasn't looking. I was not looking.
Are
That
you
was-
okay with it?
Oh man. Okay, I have to not take that. That was nice.
Let's go.
But anyway, look, I deserved it because, like, what was I thinking? Look, I was thinking, oh, it's pin. I'm gonna mate here, but like, oh, Wait, what do I have to do? Let me see.
There was no
I mean,
checkmate.
I started hanging things. Okay, so you go here. Now all I have to do is maybe just defend the pawn like h3 and then bring out my knight. But okay, well, last one.
Yeah.
I got some more time because I don't have volunteering right after this today. All right,
All right.
this time Scandinavian.
We'll go here.
We've played this before, right?
Mhm. I think I just need to be quick, so I will have extra times.
You said you have to go quick?
I said I need to be quick. No, I just want to get extra, like
Well, points.
more time on the clock.
All right,
Yeah.
fine, me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's actually a typical idea where, like, in the Scandinavian, the hippie said you don't actually take the pawn yet.
Yeah.
You could, I guess. But you can also play knight c6.
You want to take the pawn?
No, I just play knight c6.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to take the pawn.
No, I don't want to.
I think now I have unprotected bishop. To be
Oh,
careful.
that's true. That's true.
Wow.
It's getting interesting.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. So what will you do?
Nice.
Great
Now
plan.
it's my turn to. Now it's my turn to have the knights.
Hello. No. Let's take this. It's actually strong.
Mhm. Yeah, probably not f5. Probably not f5. Let's go back.
You get what to with the crochet, you go turn up. Matana mala, honey, honey. I think this should be good for white.
We'll see about it. I have F5 coming.
Yeah, I know. But not bad. My regards to F5. You saw that.
Yeah, rook lift. The crude rook b6.
Is there something to do here? You can,
Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting game, opposite color bishops.
wow.
Yeah, it's complicated. Well, F5 is coming. F5 is coming. Let's see. Hmm. So insert that one. Because you know he wants to go there. To improve the piece. Yeah, lesson for the day is don't have bad rooks. Right? Just don't have bad rooks. Let's see. Can I just take it? Why can't I take? Okay, I'm taking it. There's that. That's force. Or is it? Yeah, it's force. Someone's mom is mad, huh?
I didn't hear you.
I think someone's mom is mad or something.
I think you are going to pull out soon.
Oh, that's a good move. Yeah, that's a good move. Okay, try this.
Nah. You didn't go for.
Have to do eventually.
Nice one, nice one, nice one. Yeah.
I saw it. I saw that. I saw that. It looks like you're gonna win my rook almost. Almost got my rook.
Can this be a draw?
You're gonna try to hold the fortress, huh?
Let's try. Hey, evening. I think I have nothing to play here again.
Yeah, too much,
Yeah,
too much material. Well,
nothing else.
you threw some pawns at me. Yeah, those were fun games. I had to get revenge for that nice checkmate you had.
Seriously.
Those are fun games, though.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure thing, man. So hopefully, whenever you're free, I guess you just drop in, huh?
I will be free later at night. Let's play some rapid.
At night, you said?
Later, yeah, it is 7:51. That's by 9. I will be free.
Oh, 9. Okay, I'll try to. I have another class coming up, a class or two, but I'll try it when we're around. Just message. If we're on
I'll be
lead
active
chess,
on
if
Twitter.
we're both on lead chess, just message each other. All right.
Thank you very much.
See you, John. Thanks for coming, guys. Good to see you guys again.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.